Hi Paul, I've done really well thinking about your problem. I've contacted you on the 1st of January to say that I started a project and I would have liked some feedback from yourself before now. It's now the 10th, time's ticking on. But I've been working on it since the 1st of January, uh, basically waiting for yourself, but thinking about what we should be doing. And from what you were saying, Paul, it sounds like a stop recording problem. Sounds like you've got a distribution problem when there are multiple orders to be or shortages to be reconciled. So I think the way to approach this is to try and fix their systems as well as trying to produce a whole new package. Now the whole new package can be done for bee sitting, for golf, click and collect. So there's no problem there, and I can design that, and we can design that and work on that together. So you've got a solution that should your employers want you to move down Laravel and PHP into that arena, you've got the opportunity there. Well, I think what you need to look at is a stock movement report. Now, I'm assuming that your company is into manufacturing and they're producing a product. Well, if they're producing a product, at the last operation, it has to go one or two ways. It has to go to assembly for dispatch, or to go to the stores for stock recording until it's needed. So what my suggestion to yourself is this, is that you make a change to your procedures, that the operationally, the man who does the last operation then has to do a transaction on a tablet PC, one available to the staff on the shop floor, to assess where the stock's going to go, and the number of items that need to go into stores, and the number of items that need to go straight to distribution. Now that's all right for internal stuff. You've got stuff coming from outdoors as well, GRMs. When GRMs come in, it's a trick of stock recording, is you want stuff just in time. You don't want stuff early. It's as bad to get stuff early and store it yourself as it is to get it late. You don't want stock coming in late, but you don't want it coming in early either. So if people are delivering, dumping their stuff onto you, you should be sending it away and saying, right, no, send it to us on this date that's been requested. So there's that issue of how you deal with GRNs. But anything coming into your factory or your place, your distribution centre, whatever it is, should have a GRN, good received note, for your stores people to take that order and place it into the store's location. And they should have access to a PC, a tablet or PC to say where the stock is stored. It should have a part number, and have a number associated with it. And the basic rules for stock recording is you can have one part in one location, or you can have one part in many locations, or you can have many parts in many locations. That's one bin with multiple parts into it. And you've got to know what you're working with to get your reports off. Many to many is probably what most people are using. That one shelf, one stock location can have multiple parts on it, and those multiple parts can be across many shelves. So you need to know that. You need to know how your guys on the shop floor are working. But if you start the process with trying to amend their systems to get off a stock movement report, and that will identify where there's purchase orders outstanding and shortages outstanding, in distribution. So you can go straight to distribution, you can satisfy a customer's order. Now, that's two things to think about there, Paul. One, the movement of the stock, which you should be able to do. And one, the tricky transaction, dealing with multiple purchase orders for a customer, so shortages as well. And that's the tricky one you're going to have to deal with. And you're going to have to get your whole head around that. You're going to have to look at what you've got with existing systems and see how it all knits together. See what they've given you. It might be you have to create new objects. You might have to do that. Or it might be in such a mess, you have to say to them, I'm going to have to start from scratch and do a whole removal. And to that end, I've worked with SSADM, and I've worked on protopage.com Golf 2020 to lay out a full-scale development with what you need to do in regards to reports and specifications to SSADM standards, and it's all there with prototyping and physical and logical data. It's all there. It's not necessarily in the right sequence nowadays with the way that you operate in an agile manner. It is defined SSADM to generate lots of paperwork to support your project. Now, I don't know if we need that in today's world. I think working in an agile way leads to different types of documents being produced, and they are support documents for the transaction. So we need to be thinking about transactions, and to that end I've looked at task 610 in SSADM, thinking about the physical database, and task 350, which is prototyping using Google Forms. So it's going well, Paul, but I need to speak to yourself. You need to talk to me. You need to ring me. You need to tell me what you're doing and whether we can work together on this together and get something done that will help me with my career. Perhaps if I get this done, I could put on my CV that I'm using SSADM and Agile. I'm working with Laravel and PHP and MySQL. Perhaps this is a way for me to get back into the IT industry to prove that I'm actually doing database design and data analysis and project management. Perhaps you can help me. I've been trying to help you. Perhaps it's your turn now to try to help me. So there you go, Paul. I've done my best. It's SSADM on protopage.com/golf 2020 for click and collect golf sales from Withington Golf Club and from Hillsborough Golf Club in Sheffield. Thanks, Paul. Let's get moving.